Meredith Gorman here in the PNC Bank Sports Corner, joined by Zach Cox, who has the latest on the Patriots free agency moves, which have been pretty crazy. But the big news of the day so far is the team signing Hunter Henry, another tight end. I mean, come on, they already grabbed one yesterday. What are your thoughts on this, Zach?
Yeah, the Patriots evidently weren't satisfied to grab one of the top free agent tight ends available. They had to grab both of the top free agents available. And this move certainly came as a surprise after the Patriots scooped up Jonnu Smith from the Tennessee Titans yesterday. But I mean, Bill Belichick's affinity for Hunter Henry has long been apparent. Belichick talked earlier this year about how he's really followed Hunter Henry ever since he was a high schooler in Arkansas. He has really had a lot of respect for his game for a long time. So I guess it shouldn't be surprising that Henry ultimately did make his way to the Patriots. But the fact that the Patriots devoted significant resources to both Henry and Smith tells me that they're going to be probably the two focal points of the Patriots passing game this season. You're going to see a lot more two tight end sets. That's something the Patriots barely used at all in 2020. And ideally, from a Patriots perspective, they're going to sort of turn back the clock to those years when they did have Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez as that really dynamic two tight end duo. That certainly seems to be what the Patriots are angling for with these contracts.
And Zach, you talked about the passing game. The Patriots signed a couple pass catchers on Monday, Nelson Agholor, KENDRICK, BOURNE. Are they trying to build the team around Cam Newton right now, or what do you think the situation is going to look like?
Well, the quarterback question is still a bit of a question at this point because the setup of Cam Newton's contract will allow them to add another quarterback at some point this offseason, which I do expect them to do, whether that's through free agency, through a trade, or through the draft and bringing in a rookie. That remains to be seen. But I think the overall setup of this pass catching group is, as I mentioned, going to be very tight end heavy. The two wide receivers the Patriots added on Monday, Nelson Agholor, KENDRICK, BOURNE, neither of them is a traditional number one type wide receiver, or at least has been that in previous years. I think you're going to see Agholor slot in there as that number one Patriots receiver. Had a really good year for the Raiders this past year. Very dynamic deep threat, ranked second in the NFL in yards per catch. But that came after he had to agree to a veteran minimum contract with the Raiders because he really flamed out in Philadelphia in his final year with the Eagles. Bourne is a underrated type guy. I've seen him compared to Jacoby Myers. He's quick. He runs good routes. He's versatile, can play in the slot, can play outside. Was kind of overshadowed by some of those pass catchers that they have out there in San Francisco. But I would expect him, Myers, potentially Julian Edelman if he's healthy, potentially a rookie if the Patriots use a high draft pick on a wide receiver. All of those guys kind of in the mix for the second, third, fourth wide receiver spots. But again, I do expect this offense to be very tight end centric this year.
Well, the Patriots certainly came out firing early on into free agency, and I'm sure you've been super busy yourself too, Zach. So thank you so much for your time.